bank holiday again over here in the UK, the one that we have at the beginning of May. And unlike our last bank holiday last couple of weeks ago when we had our Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, it's reassuringly cold. So I've been down here all day. I've actually been working, but I've still got my jumper on. I thought I might sort of take the layers off as it went along, but no, it's still quite chilly and breezy, but that's what we're used to. But traditionally, this weekend over here is where everything gets planted out. And if things don't get planted out, people start to tear their hair out because they can't move in their greenhouses because everything's going and into each other. So what I am going to do today, we're still having some very, very cold nights, but what I'm hoping to get done is get my beans in. I'm direct sowing those, so I'm not putting plants out yet, although I'm sure many of you have, and fingers crossed they're fine. But I was always going to direct sow those this year, so I'm going to put my beans in. I'm going to finally do something with my dahlias, and I'm going to show you what we got up to a couple of weeks ago when it was actually really, really warm. You're in for a treat. Oh my goodness. Look what the Easter Bunny's gone and brought us. Yeah. All we've got to do now is get that up here. Yeah, it won't take long.
What? Okay, stop it. Thank you. I can't think of anything better to do on a lovely hot day.
I'm going to try what's technically known as ramping. Wish me luck. No. Okay. It nearly worked.
And there it is. I know most of us would probably prefer an Easter egg to a big pile of manure, but as a gardener, and as other gardeners out there, I'm sure you'll understand how thrilled I am with this. Gardener's gold. Okay, I just wanted to show you the tomatoes in the third greenhouse. The third greenhouse, how does that sound, eh? It's only very small. But yeah, this is where in the last video, or the video before last, I used a couple of those plantalos to plant up in and then ran out of compost, so that end one's only just gone in. But the rest of the tomatoes here have been planted in just some of those open-ended tubs. So literally they're like pots with no bottoms, and they've just been nestled into the soil, topped up with compost. If I show you, there we go. So the compost level in the pot is higher than the compost outside. And yeah, and I will, I suppose, earth the tomatoes up as they grow up a little bit, just to give the stems a bit more opportunity to send roots out, because I think we all know by now that your tomato, the little hairs on the tomato stem, can become roots if they are given the opportunity to. So yeah, just for a stronger, sturdier plant. So I will sort of keep earthing them up a little bit as they grow. But yeah, I'm really pleased with these because they've taken really well. I mean, this is the Amish paste that I did last time. And can you see how much bigger they are? I know they're a bigger variety anyway, but they're looking really, really strong, just because they've been given that opportunity to grow that much more, well, whereas the others have only just come out of pots and are going, ah, with their little feet. But yeah, and all this other stuff round is Mike's spicy mixed leaves. So actually, we're helping ourselves to those as well, and I'm just going to let those grow around the pots. I've tried to avoid them when I put the pots in, but there was some collateral damage. Same on this side, only this time we've got peas for pea shoots growing in between. Can you see? Pea shoots growing in between there. And on both sides, I've got the, I've just stood on, what have I stood on? I've just done on some cabbages. On both sides, I've planted some tikitis, tajites, whatever you call them, French marigolds, which is a perfect companion plant for your tomato. So we shall see if they shall come up. And yeah, this side then, oh, I have got to put some little poles in. Oh, and yes, I am going to put some water bottles, upside down water bottles in as well, so I can water them from the side and it will go more directly to the roots. I'll show you that as I do it. But other than that, this side's done. How great is that? And there you go. I never thought I'd be the owner of a little bunny made out of logs, but as soon as you say you're into gardening, you get all sorts. I think he looks quite cute there. He's looking after my little trough. I could say he's a guard bunny for the shed, but I'm not going to. I think he needs a name, don't you? What do you think? This is very American Gothic, isn't it? Okay, if you saw the last video, you'll know that I didn't put these up, but I knew a man who could. And these are the ones Mike put in last week. And by now we were hoping to have all the other bean canes in. You can't quite see, I don't think, from that angle, but we were going to have another double row about 2 foot across, a shorter double row, and then we're going to have at the end where we've got more of a square patch, we're going to put chickpeas. But no, these are where we are, and this is what I'm going to use. All I'm going to do today, I'll show you the beans I'm going to put in a moment, but fortunately for us, unfortunately, fortunately, the sun keeps going in, there's a cold wind, but it has rained today, and it means that the soil's quite nice and friable, workable, certainly workable. So I'm going to give it a bit of a hoe before I put the seeds in, but let me just come and show you the seeds first. The 2 beans I am going to, there's some between my legs. The 2 beans I'm going to be growing today are my absolute favourite, the ones I always tell everybody they should grow, and I can never pronounce it. It's my Belotti bean, Lingua di Fuoco. Yeah, that's it. Again, I cannot emphasise enough how delicious these are. Fresh, dried and reconstituted, but oh my word, the flavour. You wouldn't think a dried bean could have so much flavour. Grow these. If nothing else comes, and I get a few Bellotti beans, I'll be really pleased, she says, although that might happen and then I'll be really disappointed. But yeah, so they're going to go in. I have got some that I saved from last year that we've been eating, but there's not many of them left, so they're staying in the kitchen. So yeah, so I'm growing them. Then, oh, here we go, seamless, drop that one. French bean, and this one is called Purple Cascade. We've grown this one before. I love it because it's got this great purple colour, so actually it looks really good as a plant. And when you cut it open, it's like this lime green on the inside, and the colour contrast is just gorgeous. Of course, as soon as you cook it, it turns green again, but oh, it's just great. Again, for the novelty. You tend not to get too many of these in the shops, or I've never seen any at all. I was going to say the name, at our supermarket. Yeah, so I would recommend these. French beans, again, not stringy. This is really prolific. We had bags of these in the freezer until about, well, I'll tell you exactly when. About 4 or 5 weeks ago, our freezer broke down. And we still had about 3 £1 bags of these left. In fact, there would have been £2 bags of these left that had to go, sadly. Yeah, so they lasted really well. But yeah, they're well worth doing. Let me just show you the others. Runner bean. Every year, I swear I'm not going to do runner beans again. Because, to be honest, however much you pick them, they do tend to go stringy at the end of the season. And you're at that stage where you don't really want to throw them away. And in the end, what I was doing last year was just leaving them on the plant and letting them dry and using them like just dried beans. But yeah, I'm not keen. But these promise that they are stringless. They're seeds that I was given. And hopefully these are, you know, just going to be a bit of a bonus. Something a little bit nicer than your traditional runner bean. So yeah, let me know if you're growing those. But, and this is something I'm not very happy about. The other one I was so excited about, and I only grew for the first time last year. Hold on, this is tricky. Gigantus. We didn't get a great crop. Again, we were between plots and, you know, lots of things got left. But I saved the seeds that I could, and you can see some of them are okay. What's wrong with those, Jane? I tell you what's wrong with them. I'm just depositing them in the little pot I've got between my legs. This is what's wrong with some of them. What's going on there? This one. It's almost, I don't know, this one makes me laugh. This one's like a fish in shock. I've never seen a fish in shock. But look, it's gaping. I mean, I presume I'm correct in thinking they are not going to come, but I didn't know that you could over dry beans. So, I don't know. I'm left with basically a handful of beans that may or may not come, and I am disappointed because they're quite hard to get hold of, and I thought I'd be sorted now, but I am going to put them in, give them the best protection I possibly can, and nurture them and see what happens. But yeah, if you've had something happen to your beans like that one, let me know. Okay, as you can see, this has been dug over, it's been rained on, it's perfect for sowing, but before we do, I'm just going to give it a little extra tickle with my hoe. You probably know the hoe I normally use is one of those stirrup hoes, an oscillating hoe. It's a bit like a, well, yeah, like a stirrup, amazingly. But today I'm going to try out Mike's hoe. This is what he got for his birthday, and it's great because, again, it cuts on all sides. And because it's got this little tiny point there, you can get into little angled nooks. I mean, I'm not going to need to do that today, but yeah, it's quite nice. I'm going to give that a try. He swears by it. He does like a hoe. Just another thing that I wanted to mention about the canes was we've always grown them, well, if I show you, our bed, the front of our plot is there, and normally we would grow everything across the beds. So from left to right, right to left, east to west, west to east. But recently we've discovered that a lot of people swear by putting your canes north to south. Now, we've never really had the chance or opportunity to do it, or the space to do it. We've just put them where we can fit them. But yeah, we thought this time we'd put them north to south, and just see if it makes any difference. It just means that supposedly they should get an even amount of sunshine on both sides. But yeah, we'll see. What do you do? And off I go. Literally nothing fancy to it. I'm just going to put a couple of beans, about an inch, 2 inches in the soil on the inside of each post. Oh, it's gone a bit, I've got to say it's gone a bit clay-like after the rain, you know, but I can get them in. Yeah, if you are planting beans for the first time, just remember, don't do the rookie error of planting them at the post or on the far side of the post. Plant them on the inside, because then as they grow up, they will gradually hit the post and they'll do all the work for you. They'll start to climb on their own. So yeah, here we go. And just quickly, I want to show you something I'm really quite proud of. It was bucketing down last week. We had a couple of days of rain and more rain, and I was itching to get in the garden, so yeah, I thought I'd make a little sign for the little gate. So I got my paints out, had a little dabble, and we've got a sign. And it's wonky, yes, it's wonky, but then, come on, aren't we all? Okay, I've plonked myself down on the paving area. I can't call it a patio yet. It's not posh enough to be a patio. And actually, if you look around, it's probably the most untidy part of the plot, with bits of old plastic and things like that. Although, I don't know if you've noticed, we dug a little trench, like a little raised bed, at the side of the slabs when we put them down, just thinking, I don't know, so it wouldn't go straight onto the grass. It might give us a bit of room to grow something nice. And then we decided that we were going to put in some stakes we'd been given, some, I suppose, trellisy type stuff that was lying around. We've put them there as well. And that is going to be the spot where, oh, I can see one growing. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to sort them out. I'm going to have sweet peas and night-scented stock at the front, purely because this is where we sit, and oh, wouldn't that be so nice to have that scent when you sit? I've got ideas. Rocky's painted plumbing. No, Rocky, there isn't a fire at the mill. It's put me off completely now. Oh yeah, we're going to be sitting here. I've got this idea. We're going to be sitting here in the evening, you know, quaffing a fine wine and talking about the affairs of the day. Whereas really, we're just going to be sitting here, cream crackered, you know, I don't know, swigging some Diet Coke from a dirty bottle. I'm not talking to you. So yeah, but it will be a lovely place to sit, especially in the sunny summer evenings to come, she says, fingers crossed. The other thing I have put in there, because I did feel a bit obliged to put some sort of crop in there, is some purple podded peas. And I was sent some a couple of years ago by a lovely lady called Debbie Walcott Love. What a lovely name for a lovely lady. And she sent me this heritage variety of purple podded pea. So that, no, with children's animals, or Rocky. Could you just move your nose out? You've got such a long nose. Oh dear. I wouldn't mind you're getting the bad end. Oh dear. We have to keep him on this little tether at the moment because if Tiddles comes along, I know a few of you have asked about Tiddles, he wants to play, and I don't think he wants to play in a nice way. It's part of his breed, and he is a rescue dog. We don't know what his background is with small furry cats, but just to be on the safe side, we do have him on a tether. If you're going to sit there, you're going to have to sit down. Okay, he's obviously well behaved and very well trained. Now he's whining. Okay, I'm going to try and carry on. Yes, purple podded peas. So we will get, they don't give a great crop, but they are absolutely beautiful to look at. And, you know, and then at least I can say I'm growing something vegetable-wise up that frame. Okay, right, Rocky, we're going to plant some dahlias. My dahlias are from our favourite shop in the UK. I'm sure if you're in the US or, well, wherever you are, there will be a shop that you can go to for pretty much everything. And at certain times of the year, they are full to bursting with offers on garden things. And I mean, when you think, I've got 3 dahlias there for £3. I've got a huge dahlia I've already potted up. That was £1.50. That grows to, I think that was a metre tall, so 3 foot-ish. Dark clouds, now it's going to rain as well. And yeah, you can't go wrong with that sort of price. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite new to dahlias. It's only the last couple of years that I've taken to them, and I think I remember seeing one in my parents' garden, and this, you know, not in my childhood. I'm not going to go back there again. You'll be glad to know. But yeah, it was bright yellow, and the tips were orange going into red, and it was just so in your face, and it lasted for what seemed like weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, it was well into early October before they started to die back, and I just thought, you know, let's give them a go. The price they are, let's give them a go. So I did try some last year, and I was really pleased with them. So here we go again. It's about to rain. I have planted a couple up already. I have got a large white one called White Honesta. I have got one of, let's see. Oh, that was the White Honesta. They are, because I didn't have my glasses on. This one is Jane. One of 3 polka purple haze, which grow to, where did they grow to? 90 centimetres, that's 3 foot high. And again, a range of colours. Don't quite know what I'm going to get. You know, if you're bothered about having particular colours in your garden, or if you've got a theme, I don't do themes. Yeah, you might not want to give them a go, but if you've got the space and you just want to see what happens, I'd recommend them. They are, honestly, they are blousy. So anyway, I'm just going to show you what I can do. A lot of people would have started these off a month or so ago indoors. They will have, because what you can do is you dig them up. They are frost tender. You can leave them in the ground, but you are not 100% sure they're going to come back again. So a lot of people dig them up over the winter, knock the soil off, put them somewhere dry, cool, and in the spring bring them out again, and to start the growing process again, pop them in a little bit of soil and start giving them a bit of moisture, and they will start to grow again. I did that last year, but I put them in a plastic bucket, and of course they must have still been a bit damp before I put them away, and they're mouldy. So again, lesson learned, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try again this year. This one, oh, I have grown this one before. This is the most beautiful deep purple called Arabian Night, and yes, this was one of the ones as well that I just absolutely loved. Grows to over 3 foot tall. So I'm going to put this in here, and basically, I know it's a shame it comes in plastic. Let's hope it's biodegradable. It's probably not. It comes out looking like, I'll put that in there, a very unattractive clump of dried sausages. But these tubers are where all the food, all the nutrition, all the goodness is stored, and they will feed this plant and grow for the coming year. I never show you this. Look at this one already. I mean, this shows that this should have been in a while ago. Look, it's got these little things desperate to come, so that is going to love sitting in a little pot. So let's give it a go. Of course you can't see the pot from there, can you? Or can you? Basically, I've got a mix. It does like a nice, if I say a rich compost, a nice compost mix. I've actually mixed just some general multi-purpose with what I had in the bottom of some of my pots from last year. Just gave it a quick mix round, so that was a little bit drier. Give it a good mix round, and it does demand space. So again, these are 12-inch pots, and they're the ones that you can get from most supermarkets. Will sell them off. They display the flowers in them, and if you're lucky, they give them to you. If they're a little bit canny to it, you pay 99 pence for 10. But yeah, over the years we've got quite a few of them, and they're ever so useful. But that's it. Compost in your pot. Try and spread them if you can. You don't want to break the tubers apart. However, if you do, don't worry, just shove them back in anyway. And cover them up to, this is my sort of gardening again, cover them up to the neck. Try not to cover the neck itself, and when I say the neck, I mean that bit that those little shoots are coming out from. Can you see there? You really don't want to, if you can see there as well, look. Oh, you can't see there. That's the tip there. Just because it's growing on its side, it's a bit dodgy. Cover it up. Make sure you try not to get too much soil on that bit because you don't want it to rot. And yeah, that's it. That then, I'm going to put these back in the greenhouse just for the next few nights, because we have been having some chilly nights. You know, and after this lovely sunshine that we had, I know a lot of people have put stuff out and have regretted it. Lots of people have lost the new growth off the top of their potatoes, for example. We've been covering ours were up, but we've put some black plastic over the top the last couple of nights, and it seems to have done the trick. Another thing you can do, and I saw Cliff from Castle Hill Garden do this, is just earth them up. Earth them up like you normally would later in the season, but just a little bit earlier, just to make sure that you're protecting those lovely new leaves. Don't worry if they have got frosted though, because potatoes are pretty hardy. They will come back. 9 times out of 10 they'll come back anyway, but they will have been checked a little bit. So, but yeah, that's my dahlia. Why am I growing them in pots? Because I didn't start them off early enough, and also I don't know where to put them yet. I might take them home, put them in the garden, I might leave them in pots. I might, and this is what I did last year, place the pots in the border where there was a gap, and it kept that gap filled for ages. I mean, the leaves are lovely as well. They're really, really nice. So, what was that one? Oh, what was it? Jane, Arabian Night. That's all there is to it. I will do a proper little label for it, and give it a good water. But yeah, that's it. Oh, but one more thing I wanted to show you before I go. I think I have shown you this before, but just as an example of something, this is a Welsh onion. I didn't particularly want a Welsh onion. Apparently it's a perennial onion, and you can use the tops like spring onions. So I don't know why you just wouldn't have spring onions, but anyway, I felt a bit sorry for it because in the shop it was sitting there looking really sorry for itself. It's got a whole load of moss on the top, but look what happens when you tip it out. Look at that. Hope you can see that from the, oh, this smells lovely. That is what you call root bound, and that is why these leaves are going a bit, bleh. We're giving up, we don't want to live anymore. They're not happy, are they? So that, again, I'm not quite sure where to put it. I'm going to break these up ever so slightly. Oh, again, there's different trains of thought, aren't there, as to what to do when they're like this. You know, some people would say, really go for it. Get some scissors in there and split the roots a bit. But I'm just going to tease them out gently. It's difficult when they're so tightly bound. And then I'm not going to put it in a huge pot. I'll probably take these home and have them outside the kitchen door. They'll be useful then. I'm going to take this moss off the top, if I can. Yeah, that's just coming off the top. And then, look at that, I will sweep that up. Then I will water it, pop the label back in, and if it fills this pot, just goes on to another one. I'm assuming, I mean, I haven't even looked these up yet. I'm assuming then you can just split them like with any other perennial, and they'll grow into bigger and bigger clumps. But yeah, oh, it's saying thank you. That's that. Look at this mess. Must be a way of doing it without making such a mess, but it's not my way. Yeah, and that's it. So nice to be able to get to, well, to just be sitting outside and planting. I love being in my greenhouse. That's my little spot. It's warm, even when it's raining. I just love being in there. There you go, Missy. But yeah, that time of year when we're starting to get outside again. And what an exciting time of year it is. It's May. It's what I always call I won't sing, the most wonderful time of the year. And we've been so, you know, we've been almost pop-bound ourselves, you know, desperate to get out and start doing things. And actually it's like those roots will be feeling now. They've been suddenly being given a little bit of a lease of freedom. And I feel like as gardeners, that's what it's like at this time of year. You're suddenly being released into a bit of ground. I think I've had too much sun. Anyway, that's probably it for this week. What did I want to tell you? I wanted to say, oh yeah, the collaboration, the National Garden Week, the National Gardening Week collaboration organised by Liz and Erica has just been great fun. I think there were about 40 or 50 videos in the end, and they have got a playlist to all the videos from loads of different YouTube creators talking about how and why they garden. It's really interesting. If you want to discover some new channels or just some different ways of doing things, go and have a look at their playlist. I will put a link below. That's been great fun. Oh, and also it was on Saturday, it was World Naked Gardener Day apparently. Not me. No, I'm too nesh. I like my layers. So, and yeah, and it's a certain way of losing subscribers as well. So yeah, just those two things there. Go and have a look at the playlist. I've got loads more to tell you and I can't think now because I've been in the sun too long. And I'm going to go and get these watered. So yeah, I will see you very soon. Hopefully that by the next time you come, I will have planted the rest of the beans and the chickpeas and yeah. Oh, just too much stuff. Loads of stuff to tell you. Okay, hope you've enjoyed it. Do go and have a look at the Facebook page. Have a little look at the Instagram page. We're a lovely group over there on Facebook. So yeah, join in. And see you soon. Bye.